Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to talk about water. And we're going to talk about how water works with plants. Okay? So pay attention. We're going to be talking a lot about the science today and doing some really cool experiments. Okay. Now then, as you guys know, every living thing requires 4 items in order to live. Everybody and everything needs food, water, shelter, and space. Okay, there are a few plants out there that just need water and air to live, but most green plants use something called, big word here, photosynthesis. Everybody say photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is how trees turn light into food. Okay, so we're going to do the tree machine. Okay, the leaves absorb the light and turn it into sugars, which is food for them. And chug, 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 chug. The sugars travel down through the plant, through a layer under the bark called the phloem. Everybody say phloem. So phloem carries the food down. Oh, and then in the soil, you have got the roots. And the roots suck up water and bring the water up through another layer of tubes called the, big word again, xylem. Everybody say xylem. So phloem brings the food down and xylem brings the water up. So you have a happy tree. And if you think about it, I know me and my Diet Coke, xylem works like a straw. It sucks things up. Well, okay, so how is that going to work? When you drink something, you have to kind of suck really hard on the straw, right? Well, plants don't, have the ability to really suck things up like that. They use something called capillary action, which moves, let's see, where is this? Which moves the water up. Okay, and the easiest way to see capillary action is to stick some celery in colored water overnight, and you see what happened to the leaves? This doesn't look all green, does it? And if you look, let me turn this one off at the base a little bit. Okay, if you look at the ends of these, you can see where the little tubes suck are the xylem, and they suck the water up, in this case the colored water, all the way to the top of the celery. Okay, and you can see the xylem there. So really the xylem, which brings the water up, and the phloem, which brings the food down, are kind of like veins and arteries in people. But yeah, look at all those little dots, which represent tubes where the water came up on the celery. Okay, so how the heck does this work? We have a force called gravity, which pulls us down to the ground, and it wants to pull everything down. Well, okay, obviously, this is doing the opposite. This is pulling stuff up. So, how does that work? It's something called, another big important term, capillary action. Capillary action sucks water up, and it does the opposite of gravity. And the reason capillary action can suck the water up is due to something called, I know it's another big word, cohesion. Cohesion is how things stick together. And water molecules like to stick together. Okay, and I can show you how this works. Let me move my Coke. Okay, you see here, and this is something you can try at home again, you have a jar that's got a bunch of water in it. It's almost full. And because the water is going to want to stick to itself, you can put things like pennies in it, a bunch of pennies, and you see how if you add stuff to the water level is kind of rising a little bit. And keep adding. And keep adding. I'm going to keep adding. I'm going to keep adding. Okay, we're getting there. Watch the top of the water. We can do it. We can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Okay. Getting close. Getting real close. Getting close. Gotta be careful putting them in now. Okay. Oh, it's getting so full. It's getting so full. This is holding a lot of... Okay. If you look at the edge here, we're about to go to the top. And look at... I can get like one more in maybe. Okay. If you put them in carefully and you get just enough, what's going to happen is the water's going to rise just a little bit over the edge, and it's still going to stay there because the water wants to stick to itself. It doesn't want to escape the cup, and that's cohesion. That's sticking together. Okay, I think we're about there. If you look at the top of the jar at this point, you can kind of see how the edges of the pennies are looking a little weird because it's starting to curve over the top. And I think I have dog hair in here too. Okay. Oh, you have to be so careful. Okay. One more. It's sticking together. It's sticking together. Okay. Have we achieved? Okay, if you look at it real carefully from the side, the water is above the top now. And if you look at it from down, looking down into the jar, you'll see it curving because, yeah, the water is rising higher than the jar. I'm just going to keep adding these and see if it's going to go. How much do I have to put it over? Okay. Ha. Okay. Oh, it's about to overflow. 3 more pennies. Oh, there it went. But it's still, if you look down on it, with the camera. You see how it kind of curves on top? The water wants to stick to itself. It doesn't want to run away from each other down the side of the jar. One more, one more. Okay, and if I put any more in there, it would temp over. Okay, cohesion also does something else weird. We have here a ball. The ball is lighter than the water. Water's kind of heavy. This is a kind of bouncy ball. Okay, what happens when you put something lighter than water on the water? Just like rubber duckies in a bathtub, this floats on the surface. And this is cohesion in action too. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a really cool trick, which the directions are in your goodie bag. You can do this at home, on how you can make something called, and this is really fun, a walking rainbow. And to do this, you are going to need, you don't need the green food coloring, you're going to need 7 glasses and red, yellow, and blue food coloring. Okay, and remember, red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors. And what happens if you mix blue and yellow together? You get green, right? And if you mix yellow and red together, whoop, you get orange. And if you mix red and blue together, you get purple. Okay, so watch how this works. You'll put water in every other glass. And in the first glass, you're going to put a bunch of red food coloring. And then you're going to have an empty glass here. And in the third glass, you're going to put some yellow. And in the fifth glass, you're going to put some blue. Boop. Needs to go in there. Naughty blue. Okay. And in the last glass, whoops, they put yellow. I didn't mean to put yellow. It's not going to show. You put red. Okay. Now then, capillary action, which is why water wants to stick together again, is going to make the colors walk. And then you're going to need some little paper towels. And you're just going to fold them up like this. And you're going to take the first one and put it in the red, and then put it in the empty glass. And look at that. Look at what's happening already. It's sucking it up. That's capillary action. Okay. And you take the next one, you put it in the yellow, and you put that in here. Okay. And you're going to keep doing that with the folded paper towels and the empty jars and the full jars. Up, look what's happening here. The yellow's going up. Okay. And we got it in the blue. And one more. Okay, so look at what's happening here. Look at what's happening to the blue. It's climbing. Capillary action is making the water climb. And what do you think's going to happen after this all keeps climbing? And the red goes over into this jar and the yellow goes over. What's going to happen? And the yellow and the blue. Oh, once this get in there, you're going to get another color. Green. And the blue and the red, they will turn into purple. Okay, this takes a little while to work. So let me show you what you get when it's done. Okay, we've got the rainbow here. El arco iris in Espanol. And you see, we put the red and the yellow in here. And so what color do we have here? Orange. It's kind of a reddish orange, but it's orange. And with the blue and the yellow, look at that. You can even see it on the paper towel that had the yellow on it. You get green. Okay, and I'm going to put this one in here. And not the nicest shade of purple, but the blue and the red, you get purple. Okay, and thanks to capillary action, which is the ability of water to stick to itself and climb, you can make this rainbow. Pretty cool. Okay, so those are some tricks about how water works its magic. And another way to see how all this works is to go around the park with a bottle of water and pour it on different things and see what happens. What happens if you pour water on a plant that's drooping? What happens if you pour it on dry soil or wet soil or ball moss? Okay, all of those things that are going to happen when you go out and do that are the result of capillary action and the special way that water behaves. Okay, I will see y'all next month. Bye.